be showing a whole bunch of quick and easy hairstyles that would be good for school mornings. None of these are going to require heat, and they're probably going to be easy enough that you can do on yourself. So to get started, I have just pulled back a section of hair here on the top. It's basically just a rectangle that I've parted out, and I'm going to make a small pull-through braid here in the front. So before I start on that braid, I've just added a clip to each side of her hair to keep that out of the way. And then I'm just going to grab a very small section here in the very front. And then before I move on, just on this front section, I'm going to pull this hair out a little bit. And then I'm going to take this and flip it out of the way and grab another section of hair, just right behind that. Okay, now I'm going to come back to this first ponytail that I made, and I'm going to split this hair in half. And then I'm going to grab the second ponytail and just flip it out of the way. And I'm just going to clip it down. And then I'm going to come back and grab another section behind that. Now I'm going to grab these sections that I left out from that front ponytail and add it in with this one. I'm just going to keep repeating that all the way down, but before I move on, I'm going to come and stretch out these pieces here so that they are more noticeable and more fluffy. So now I'm going to remove this section I have here, and this one is going to be split in half, and then I'm going to bring the ponytail from underneath up and clip it out of the way. To keep going back with this until I get to about the crown of her head, and then we're going to stop. Okay, so when you've gone back as far as you want with that, you'll just take all of the hair that you have left and tie it off together. And then you can just go back and fix whatever you don't like about it. If you need to pull them out more, you can do that. Okay, using the same section of hair as we did last time, I'm going to add a rubber band here in the very back of the section. And then I'm just going to take this hair in the front again and pull it out a little bit. Okay, now with the hair in this ponytail, I'm just going to take another elastic and we're going to make a messy bun. You can really make this however you want. I'll just show you how I do it. I just put the elastic on and I wrap it around until it's kind of tight, but I still have a little bit of play in it. And then I'm going to take it and pull the hair not all the way through, maybe just out a couple inches like that. And then I'm going to come back here to the end of the elastic. I'm pulling that out and I'm twisting it, and then I'm going to kind of flip this hair over like that, and then I'm taking the elastic and I'm going to bring it over that entire thing so that you kind of have two loops there. And then if you need to pull these out at this point, you can if you have them too tight. I think those are about the right size that I'm going to want them. With this remaining hair, I'm just going to take it and twist it up and kind of bring it around until I just have a little bit of ends left. And then I'm going to take these ends and just put them through the elastic so that they're kind of tucked in. At this point, I'm just going to kind of pull and stretch, get it looking how I want it, and then I'm going to bobby pin it down. That is hairstyle number 2. Alright, for this one I've just grabbed a section of hair on each side, and you may want to use some products for this. I've just added a little bit of pomade to each of these strands. I'm going to take them and tie them into a knot. So I'm crossing one strand over the other. This is just like tying a shoe. And I'm going to pull it slightly to her head, not super tight. And then I'm just going to take these ends and add a rubber band. So you can leave it just like that if you want, or if you want the knot to be bigger and thicker looking, you can just take these strands and kind of stretch them out. So for this next style, I'm just going to be adding on to this one, and this is a good alternative if you don't want to leave your hair down for whatever reason. So you just want to make the knot, and then I'm going to grab a section of hair here in the middle, and I'm just going to make a French braid. This is going to be a loose braid and I'm taking large sections, so it's not going to take you very long to make. If you'd rather do a Dutch braid or a fishtail, you can do that instead. Really any kind of braid would work. Okay, this next hairstyle is probably the easiest and quickest of all. I've just grabbed a small strand here in the front and I'm going to add some water so that we don't have flyaways. And then I'm just going to braid that. Okay, I'm just braiding that down to the point where I'm at the side of her head. And then I'm just going to kind of part her hair back here and grab a section from underneath. And I'm going to tie that together with a rubber band. And then you can just kind of lay the hair back over that and it will stay hidden. If you want to stretch out these strands to make it more voluminous, you can do that. I'm just going to leave hers as it is. For this next one, we're just going to be using the same braid and I'm going to tie it off temporarily for a minute just so that it doesn't come unraveled. And then I'm going to come up here to this hair that's right by this part, kind of on top of her head, and I'm going to section off a small piece. And I'm going to tie this piece off as well, just to keep it out of the way for a minute. So again, I'm going to pin this braid back, but I'm not going to go as far. I'm going to pin it about right here. I say pin, but I'm actually going to use an elastic again. If you want to use bobby pins, you can. Okay, now that I have that securely in place, I'm going to undo this elastic. And we're just going to take some sections and bring it through here like a fake waterfall braid. You may want to use water or pomade. So I added a little bit of water to that piece, and then I'm just going to come to this braid and stretch it out, make myself a little hole. And then I'm going to reach up through there with two of my fingers and just pull that piece through. And I'm just going to keep going back until I've used up all of this braid. We've done something similar to this before. It's been a super long time. If you want to check out that older video, I will have it linked below. Now that I have those pieces in there, I'm just going to go through and stretch out this bottom strand. I'm actually going to do the top strand as well. I just wanted to mention real fast that there's a couple of different ways you can do this and it ends up making the braid look completely different. I brought this strand in here over this top piece of the braid and it's going under this part of the braid. So these waterfall pieces kind of disappear and it ends up looking more like a lace braid. So it's kind of like a fake lace braid. If you want it to look more like a waterfall braid, you'll want to bring these pieces in underneath this top strand and then it's going to go over this bottom strand and that will make them pop out a little bit more. So whichever braid you want it to look like, that's how you change it up. This very last style we're going to be adding onto this one again, and this will work either with this fake lace braid or with the regular braid that we did right before this. I'm just going to brush all of her hair to the side and we're going to do a braid. Of course, you can do any type of braid you want. If you're in a hurry, just do a regular braid. I'm going to do a fishtail braid. So I'm just splitting that hair in half and I'm going to take a small section here from the front, cross it over to the back, and then I'm going to take a small section from the back and cross it over to the front. And I'm just going to keep repeating that all the way down. You can leave that braid as is or you can pull it apart. That's just your personal preference.